Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the Ultimate Voltron from Voltron Legendary Defender. So this is obviously, as you could tell, a large-scale figure. I believe it's about 14 inches. We will take a quick look at it side by side with the giant combined. No, that was right. Combined is not right. Anyway, combined Voltron, excuse me. But this is a all put together one. It does not separate into 5 different lions. It's basically just a giant action figure for those that may just be a fan of Voltron itself and not really care about owning the individual lions, or you just want a more posable, streamlined look for your Voltron that's, you know, more in line with the show a little bit. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's just take a look at him. He's a very large scale, as you can see, and I've said. Excuse me. He's got a bit of a nice heft to him. It's like this weird, actually kind of weird feeling of sort of simultaneously light and hefty. Obviously, the main draw for him is his articulation. The large combined Voltron does have bits of articulation, but it's not anywhere near this. It's probably around the level of like I want to use a weird example, but kind of like lesser than a figure art, but a little bit more than like a Power Rangers 5-inch figure. You got a nice joint here, and they're all in that kind of like ratchety joint, so it'll make clicks. But you get good in and out movements there. You can move it all around. You got a nice elbow joint here, so some great movement there. You can open up his little mouth here, and there's a little button here, and there's actually a gimmick for missile firing. And so it comes with one missile, and it's actually kind of nice. Like it stores in there really well, and it's hidden, so it's just kind of like, hey, that's there, but if you don't want to use it or you don't want to lose the missile, then it stores in there and it's not really taking up any display space or anything. You know, display space, but I mean, it's not like protruding out of anywhere. Anyway, so yeah, really nice articulation there. You can't move the lion heads like individually, like right here, but you can move this, so you kind of basically get that a little bit, so that's kind of a thing. This leg here well, both legs, not just this leg. This isn't like one of the Retro Fire Megazords where one leg has articulation. But this leg here that I'm using, you can move in and out here. Great forward movement. It's stopped a little bit. It's not like the best. It's not like a figure where you can practically have it touch its head. A little bit back movement there. You got a pretty solid knee joint there. Not quite a double knee joint, but still some good movement. The feet here also move. You can move them up and down, a little bit side to side, all the way back here. It's nice because it allows you to do some sort of dynamic poses, you know, with the feet, but it also can be a little bit problematic if you like shift this just a certain amount. You're just gonna have a hard time getting it to stand. And I actually do have a hard time getting it to stand quite a bit right now. Just the combination of like if the foot's off by this much or it's just a little bit top heavy, so that's kind of a thing. The arm articulation here obviously is going to be the same. This one does move because you don't have that missile firing action. To be honest, I would rather just not have the missile firing action, even though it's nice that it stores away. But you can move his little head there. This does come out. It's kind of a very similar feel to the large scale Voltron or larger scale Voltron, where this like snaps back up. And like I'm guessing that's to keep the sword in there. But it's a nice looking sword, you know, it's pretty much just a little bit more of a streamlined, put together version of the one you get, or like already put together, literally, than the one you get with the combined one. I think it looks a little bit better just because it's already done for you. You don't have to slide in the electric part yourself. I'm just going to set it down for now. But yeah, so there's that. There is no waist articulation unless it's like just really hard to move, but no, there's no waist articulation. His head can move around 360, and you get some good up and down movement, which is always nice. The wings as well are on a nice little gear here, so you can leave them like this, you can leave them like this, you can open them up, so you got the range of motion for the wings there, which is nice. This guy does also have electronics. There's an on-off switch right here in the back, so wait. It doesn't make confirmation noise. I'm waiting for a confirmation noise because I'm used to it. So, pressing his crotch here will get you, I think the box at around like 15 phrases, so.
Form Voltron!
And as you can see, we got lights in the chest and lights in the head there.
Give me full reverse thrusters!
He said Lance Hunk, and I thought he said Let's Hunk. So, I'm just going to zoom in a smidge so you can see the lights there.
Let's cut the Gara down to size.
You know, that's right.
We are Voltron!
Are you, though?
Systems compromised. Let's light this thing up. Fire lasers! Let's do it! Keith, form sword! Hold it right there!
Did you do it?
Now we go on the offensive.
I think we're getting
You dropped a sonic boom on him.
to the point.
Pinch. Form shield. Form Voltron.
Okay, I think we're...
Pinch. Form shield.
Okay, so just like the regular version, it's on kind of a random system, but you don't get quite as many phrases as the standard one. And then obviously, you're not getting... you know, the interactive features of like, hey, it's going to notice whether you have a certain arm on or whatever. But there's still a decent amount of little phrases in there. It looks to be the same voices, and honestly, there's a few of the same phrases that are repeated. I think there's a few...
Are Voltron.
Yeah, I know. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought you. Like, if your name was Jim, I would have been like, where's Pam? Okay. So I'm going to quickly get this guy to stand, and then I'm going to take a look at him next to the combined version, and then we'll just do a quick pan over of his little details. So, one second. Here we have them next to each other. As you can see, this guy is taller by maybe about like 2 inches. I think this is 16, that's 15. And then obviously this guy's bulkier, and like he has the yellow. That's right, okay. So, yeah, and there's like just a couple little details this one has that this one doesn't, but there's a clear difference there. Personally, I do prefer the more streamlined version for you know, the full combined one. This is neat, it offers a lot of cool stuff, but like for just Voltron, I really like this. And if you're like me, I'm gonna have a display where I want to display the full Voltron robot and the lions, so I like the ability to separate this into the 5 lions and sort of surround this one. So yeah, there's a difference there, but I do really just like that they gave you the option of just having this and not having to buy the individual ones, and they just kind of cater to what you're interested in, you know, whether you just want one lion, all the lions, just a robot. So that's kind of nice. Alright, so now let's just go ahead and just take a look at the details on him and final verdict. So I wanted to just kind of highlight just the general look of him, which is something I usually don't do at the last of it. But overall, I think he's pretty good looking. He is missing a couple details here and there. The most noticeable one, you could probably tell, is the... wow, that was some weird depth perception. But the eyes here for Black Lion are not, you know, yellow, or I think whatever color they were, I just saw them. But you know what I mean. They're not lit up. They're just blank. That's really the only most glaring part. Everything else, though, I think looks pretty good. If you can see, even in here, there's like little battle damaged areas and stuff, which I think is just kind of neat. Adds a little bit of flair to it. But like the lion heads and everything, I think are pretty well done. I don't have too many problems with the way he looks. Honestly, I think he's pretty solid. There's not a whole lot that I'm too upset about. He does have those gray parts, and there could be like more of the white parts, like, you know, where it's supposed to be white, which is, I guess, kind of a thing in this line. The back's pretty like uninspired because, you know, it's just the back. But yeah, for the most part, though, I don't have a problem with the way he looks. I'm pretty happy with it, honestly. My only real problem, look-wise, is honestly just his eyes on Black Lion. That's the only thing that really bothers me. But anyway, overall, I actually really like this thing. I think it's really cool. I think it looks good. It's a good size. I like having more poseability options. For like the Voltron figure itself as a whole, I kind of prefer the more streamlined look that's a bit more accurate to the build of it in the show. And I like also the option for people like me that want to have this and then the individual lions on display. So yeah, my only real complaints with this are the missing paint on the eyes and the fact that he's hard to stand. He's a bit top heavy, and with the legs, it's just kind of hard to stand, and that's kind of frustrating. But that's really only my main complaint about it. Other than that, and a few minor paint details, I actually quite like this thing. But anyway, that's about it. Until next time, make sure you have the Crazy Podcast at writersrangeandrambles.com. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.